Guys, J.C. Smith here. Today we're going to replace this garbage wiring that's in my shop. We bought this place, I don't know, it ain't been a year yet, but we're going to put in a new square D panel so we can have all new breakers. So we're going to clear all this out, and we're going to put a piece of plywood in here. It's 2 foot by 4 foot, and set the panel in, refeed it. Eventually this will get a whole new feed from a power pole outside. Man, it's starting to rain all of a sudden. Yeah, this is a thunderstorm we were looking at. Anyways, so we're going to refeed it. We'll come in the back of the panel right about in this area, and we'll have a new 2-inch conduit coming in. It'll come right from a power pole that I'm going to set. I'm going to go buy a pole, drill it, set it, bring our electric down the pole underground and back up over here. So I'm going to start getting this stuff ready to go. I'm going to leave that in place so we have electric for the time being. And matter of fact, I don't know if I have any lights still hooked up here or not. See if I can get some of these lights working here. See a little better. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Anyhow, so we're going to tear all this out, get these nails out, get all these cords out of the way, and put in our board and get going. So I'll show you once I got the board up in the panel. Exactly why some people shouldn't do electric. You see what they've done here. These are all what are supposed to be neutral wires. They're all going to a ground bus or a neutral bus, whatever you want to call it. So what happens is, it doesn't matter, it still makes electricity flow good until you get into here and somebody doesn't know that this is backwards, and they hook something up backwards and then fries your electronics. So, and a lot of this stuff you can't tell right now, but this isn't even fused. This is running hot right now. There's a jumper in here, so everything that's supposed to be on these fuses is jumped, and there's no protection, no overload protection on this at all. And most of these will run off of, see if you can read that fuse there. Just gotta turn that so you can see what it is. They're gonna focus on it. That's 30 amp on a single 110 receptacle, which at the very most would be 20 amps, and the wire that it's on is 14 wire, which is only good for 15 amps in a branch circuit. So this is exactly why you don't have just anybody doing electric, because this is just a train wreck. And this is what's feeding it, this 10 wire here. So it comes in as a 30 amp, and then they splice off to it, and it goes up across the ceiling and all the way over to the lean-to, which is feeding another sub panel and countless pieces of equipment back there. But this is exactly why not everybody should do electric. So we're going to yank all this garbage out. Eventually this feed will get replaced. You can see where it comes in the ground, out of the ground here. I think that's just well pipe. Yep, plastic well pipe. So we'll put it in 2-inch PVC. So let me get at it. As far as I'm going to get today. So these are going to be GFI receptacles, because we're in a garage. It needs to be GFI protected. It's just going to be one single GFI. I may change it later to a GFI with a what's called a Decora receptacle next to it. This will be the same thing. GFI and a receptacle, GFI receptacle, and GFI and receptacle. And the reason I'm putting so many right there is I'm pulling all the wiring out of this place because it is less than great. So we're going to take it all out, and you can see here, this is a 30 amp 220 for my welder, which is right down here. This is going to be a 2-pole 30 for another welder line that'll be down this wall. This one will be a 220 for the air compressor, and then this one will be a 2-pole 30 for another welder line on the opposite wall. And then all my circuits will be in 20 amp 12 gauge wire. This is a temporary feed coming in. It's only a 30 amp line out of the house. So what I did is I temporarily backfed it in here so it's on the breaker and feeds both poles. It's not the proper way to do this, but this is getting a whole new service. It will get here soon this summer I will bring in a 2-inch pipe through the bottom here, and this will get fed with 4-aught, because you can see that's if it'll focus. Of course not. It's a 200 amp main breaker, and being I'm using this as a main breaker panel, you need to bond the cabinet, so that's what that green screw is. It comes with that. And then I'm going to refeed, so the house will be fed out of here. So this will be 200, and then I'll have 100 amp that'll go right here later and remove this. The feed coming in, I'll remove this. This will be 100 amp that comes out and feeds the house. So this will be the main panel. So that's as far as we got for today. So I'll bring you, and I gotta go pick up the GFIs and their 4 square and put that together. So I'll show you more when I get that.